we're here, Lynn English with Coach Al, year number 3.
Yes, sir.
Number 3, right?
Yes, sir.
All
Yeah,
right,
three.
man. Always some changes. You lost like you had like six seniors last year that you graduated.
Yeah, yep. We had lost a lot of guys, man. We missed those guys, but we have a lot of guys coming back as well.
All right, yeah, that's what I was gonna talk about. You guys, from what I saw, from summer to fall league, it was like 2 different teams. From summer to fall leagues, was that just them just all that time playing together and
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
get
No, that's a credit to our guys coming back. I mean, we build a family culture here with those returning guys that they took it very. They know the opportunity that was at hand. Starting in the spring and the summertime, and credit to them. They took advantage of it. They worked really hard in the summertime and summer league and competitive fall leagues. And I like the progress that they made in the off season.
Yeah, and one thing you got going for you is the experience. You got a good upper class that you got. There's some lower classmen that might not play, but they'll see some time on the court. But just how important is that for just to have that experience?
Yeah, I think I have older guys, that didn't get a lot of experience, but we'd have a good mixture of guys that did, right? And I think that's a good problem to have, a good mixture of young guys and older guys, and then guys that are, hungry for an opportunity. And I think this is that year that they'll be given that opportunity, but it's going to be hard. They have to work hard for those results that they want.
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely saw just how much those guys really just wanted to be better during that fall league, and especially, I mean, Kyle. He's a player that I think is probably one of the best all-around player we have in the city. And then Denzel's improvement as far as just from being a standstill jump shooter, now he's putting the ball on the floor and getting to the cup. You feel like there's a good complement of guys that their games all complement each other?
Yeah, I mean, most importantly, they've been together off the court, right? And I think that's what leads to, them getting better and pushing each other on the court, feeling comfortable enough to do that. I mean, Kyle's a guy that can do it all. He can do it all for us, right? He can defend, he can rebound, he can score. He just has the knack to being around the basketball. And last year he got hindered with a ankle injury that sat him down, for about a month and a half for us. So he kind of missed a lot of last year. And when he did come back, he's a returning starter, right? And he first game of the season, he had a triple-double. So he's a guy that we know what he can do. Looking forward to him being healthy and our other guys. And Denzel has taken the offseason very, very serious. He's been on the varsity level for the last 2 years. He's a guy that kind of waited his turn, and, we're excited for the year that he should have.
Yeah, what was some of the lessons that you took away from that loss to Newton North? Because when I look back at that game, it wasn't being out-coached or outplayed. It was just a matter of the shots wasn't falling that day.
Yeah.
That's literally what it came down to, is the shots wasn't falling that day. But what did you take away from that game?
I mean, it was a major learning experience for a coach, us as a team. We talked about it all summertime, and I think it was a driving factor for our guys to want to get better this summer. I know I told them myself, I led with that. I said I needed to be a better coach, a better leader, right after that game. I know the shots weren't falling, but, you got to be able to be humble enough to challenge yourself. And we were able to have open dialogue as a group. And I think they took that serious. Our guys, kudos to them, and they really worked on their game. And once you taste something like that, as far as that loss, we all felt that we all were invested. We all hurt that Newton North loss, right? But, how do you respond from that? As I always tell them, how do you respond from that adversity, that challenge for you returning guys? And I think I'm very confident in our guys, and they were hungry this summer and the fall.
Yeah, and especially with the expectations, not even for yourselves, but the expectations that was on that team just the entire year. There was eyes on that team, and they lived up to the expectations. You got to tip your hat to the team that was in the state championship the prior year. So it's kind of like there's no.
Yeah, and you go look at what experience means a lot in any sport. Newton North probably had 8 to 10 seniors, I think. I think those guys returning from being in the state championship the year before, I believe. But they've been there, right? They've been through that grind. They've had that, I'm sure, that taste of defeat that drove them in that offseason. So experience plays a major factor. You have to go through things like we did, not willingly we wanted to, but we went through it, right? And we're looking to bounce back. I'm proud of these guys that are coming up. They've been hungry, and hopefully we have a successful year.
Yeah, and I've looked at the schedule. Got 4 good non-conference games, 4 tough non-conference games. But I feel like those are the type of games that they're going to find themselves in situations where it's tournament time. You might find yourself playing one of those teams or in a situation where it's crunch time and you got to dig deep,
Yeah.
make big plays against some of the top teams.
Yeah, absolutely. You want your non-league games the best that you can because scheduling it takes not just you. If you want to schedule somebody, it's not up to you. It's up to both programs, both coaches, is to hopefully schedule for it to work out. But you want those non-league games to challenge your guys. You just had trials probably 2 days ago, and it's more of an excitement, right? That you made your team, and for your fan base, and also the city of Lynn, for you to get a light taste of what teams are going to look like, and it's more of an introduction of the basketball season, right? And I made a point that I wanted all Lynn schools involved. I think it's very important, but also we went and got out more teams from Boston, a couple teams from Boston that we're excited to see. I think it's going to be a great event, a great basketball day or night, here at Lynn English.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's gonna be a crazy day for me. What is it? Your conference gets a lot of flack for competitiveness of or whatever it is, but I've seen the past couple years. There's a couple teams always in the conference that gives you guys a game, and it's not everything's a cakewalk. That as far as the outside people perceive it, but they don't see some of these teams that come in here or you guys go there that give you those tough matchups.
Yeah, I mean, in any sport, man, I can't control my conference. We can't control our conference. I tell my guys all the time, we can't control what it is. But in any given sport, you got to respect your opponent, regardless of who it is. And that's what I preach on my guys is don't feed into what everyone else is saying, because half the time, or more than half the time, they don't know what they're talking about, right? And we respect every opponent in our conference, right? And it's a challenge every night to go get a win, especially when you're on the road or at home, whatever it is. Keeping engaged with high school athletes is a challenge in itself. But we respect our opponents, and we play the games that are in front of us, and we look to get better and improve every single time we play.
Do you slightly change the identity of the team or how you want the offense and defense to go, or is it just it's like the same philosophy, but you make the adjustments with the personnel that you have?
I mean, like any coach probably would agree with this. You have to first see what you have. You have to see the personnel of guys, their personalities, their games, their strengths, their weaknesses, and then you have to go back and see what best fits your team, right? You can't coach like we had Tyrese and Warren, who were the top scorers in the state last year. We don't have Tyrese and Warren this year, right? So you can't go into the season thinking with the same philosophy. You have to evaluate what you got, what are their strengths and weaknesses, and as a coach, you try to put that together and put the best thing out there, right? That's my philosophy. But on defense, it's non-negotiable. You don't play defense, you don't play.
Yeah, definitely. And lastly, this is 3 years coaching. You had those years as an assistant. Is it still you still get like that feeling when the season comes prior to the first game of the season? Is it still like that nerves you get when you were a player? But now
Oh
as a
man,
coach?
I didn't sleep last night. I get excited, man. I get excited for the new season. It's a new challenge. You don't know what's going to happen this year. I think that's exciting. You get motivated to get working with your guys. It's like I always call it, like head coaches are finally out of jail because we're not able to work with our guys at all. And then it's like you've been itching, and now you're able to get out there and actually work with your guys. So you feel free. You're able to. You don't feel limited at all, and you get excited to actually start piecing things together and watch how it manifests throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely. It's December 12th. They're on the road at Medford to kick off the season. But this Friday, we got the Jamboree here. First game's at around 4:30.
4:30.
4:30. First game's at 4:30. Last game's at 8 p.m. Get here, be here, support the team. We played pickup yesterday. I'm so I'm so man. Coach, appreciate it as always, man. We're out of here.